Is there anything anybody in Kenya can say now? This is Matanga. I wrote it. Fact number 2 was about the fact finding cannot be separated. The above findings, therefore, cannot be separated. That the President Uhuru Kenyatta is, and they said, was in breach of Chapter 6 of the Constitution. They went further to recommend, without giving Kenyatta a natural rule of justice, condemned him unheard. How could a court arrive to such a decision? Ladies and gentlemen, it is a very serious matter here. Article 143(2) again is very important. That's fact number 2. An in-depth analysis reading of what they wrote, that the president can be sued, tells you that the judges were calling for President Kenyatta's ouster. In fact, the judges wanted Kenyatta ousted through judicial coup. The judges performed the coup of the High Court. I don't know why the Chief Justice and the Supreme Court did not reprimand these judges. That's why I've come up to remind that in the future, a behavior of Mr. Harvey and Grand Mula should not just be a condemnation by words. These people do a lot of harm after getting money from Ruto. They harass us on social media. They malice us. They insult us, especially Grand Mula, claiming to be with one small degree and telling people who have degrees, who have read more degrees because he has stolen money from pirates. You know, these are some of the things that I don't agree with some people. Fact number 3, I have to fight for my rights. And I have a right as an individual because I wrote this. It's my writing in my night, my burning the oil. That the requirements of amending what the court referred to as rather declared an eternity clause. This is on the basic structure. I disagreed with the judges then. The basic structure doctrine has been used, and they said Malaysia, Pakistan, whatever, but it was used. But has it got a root in any constitution? Go to Malaysia. Go back to Pakistan. If you steal money in Pakistan or Malaysia, if you go with drugs in Malaysia, they send you for life imprisonment. In Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur, they have changed the constitution. No basic human rights, no basic structure there that protects a human right. Anything to do with cocaine, a drug, cannabis in Malaysia, you go down. I wrote on that day. I quoted Article 256. I quoted Article 255. Judicial deep sea fishing aside. They went for a deep sea fishing, not an expedition. But the deep sea looking for the sharks and the seals that are under the sea. The supremacy of the Constitution in the territory of Kenya, sovereignty of people, we the people, the national values and the principles of governance, mentioned in Article 10A, 10(2)A to D, the Bill of Rights, the term of office of the President, the independence of judicial and commissions and independent office to which Chapter 15 applies, the functions of Parliament, the objects, principles, and the structure of developed government, all provisions of Chapter 16 are all available for people to read. You can do that. How the judges fished. They fished, they created a fourth pathway. I'm trying to remind the Chief Justice here. I respect you, Madam. But a mere condemnation of your lower court, who are trying to create a fourth pathway to create chaos in Kenya, is not good enough for Matsanga and for other Kenyans. I'm not a Kenyan, but as an international scholar anywhere in the Commonwealth, where I see a problem, I speak my mind. Therefore, how judges reached this, I don't know. How the High Court reached this type of life is up to the Chief Justice to tell the world. She never reprimanded them. Because the Apex Court is supposed to give a recommendation and say to them that never again should such politically motivated judgments come into a good court in Kenya. Ladies and gentlemen, you can get that article, Fact 4, the declaration of IEBC, I wrote about it. Fact 5, the principle of public participation required by Article 10, 118, 124, 201, 221, and 222 were fully met. The biggest problem with the Kenyan Constitution is you have not told us how much participation, how many people you should participate in. The period of participation, 10 weeks, 20 days, 1 day, half a minute. What is participation? You need to specify. So the MPs in Kenya should go back to Parliament and specify that it must be 2 weeks, 1 week, so that if people don't come, we shall not come back to you. But it's vague. The doctrine of colored legislation, colored, which I can call the colored legislation, is based on a maxim that what cannot be done directly cannot be done indirectly. As regards parliamentary legislative competence, the doctrine is such that Parliament cannot make laws or make amendments fraudulently outside the purview. The Parliament cannot do indirectly what it cannot do directly. A law is regarded as colored when in Parliament, having no powers to pass such a law, frames the same Parliament, camouflaging the same as if it falls within the competence. We want to find ourselves in another court somewhere outside Kenya. It is important to understand Parliament has unaffected competence to pass the amendments which do not fall under Article 255(2). In passing a law or amendment which Parliament has competence to pass, the motive which makes Parliament pass the law is irrelevant. That must be known. All in all, there is quite a lot of gray ground or gray grounds where an outside independent court can give an opinion for future reference. Because the Supreme Court in Kenya is the final court. But the East African Court and the African Court of Justice are the most important courts on the continent of Africa that can be used in making sure that justice and all African countries and the justice systems operate within the purview of the law. It is therefore very important, my fellow Africans and East African and diplomats watching, that Kenya has missed a chance to heal. Kenya has missed a chance to have a redemption strategy. Ruto finds it very important when he sees people in Timboroa sleeping in other people's houses. When he sees smoke, people cooking in other people's houses in Timboroa and other parts. When the others, the owners, are sleeping on the streets of Nairobi, their children are eating nothing in Nairobi. Their farms have been taken over. Nobody has reparated them. Ruto finds it very politically interesting to say that the president should return the money and find out how much money was used because of the hatred of Raila Amolo Odinga. Yet he took over a farm. The man went down to God without eating even a mango from his farm after he had taken over. This is the man that you people in Kenya. This is the man who went to pay for the Ojwangs and other people and that some other people to mutilate the BBI, the redemption strategy that I had struggled for. This is the man who is coming back to tell people that he wants President Uhuru Kenyatta to account and apologize. This is the man who has occupied people's farms, who has a record of occupying a farm and making sure he eliminated almost Mr. Muteshi. This is a man who has got a record that we should not keep quiet and we should not be silenced because he has threats and he threatens people. When you frighten people, be careful. Leave some space for you also because you could be threatened. This is a man who has no shame, who stands here. This members, his friend's police, goes to his friend's home, tells his friend's neighbors that Uhuru Kenyatta is useless. He has done it. He has done it. He has done it indeed. He has annoyed some of us who are friends of Uhuru Kenyatta. Uhuru Kenyatta does not pay me to talk. But I'm a friend. Let him hear this voice. That enough is enough. You have done very well. You wanted a united Kenya, but people don't want it. The judges that we thought are worth, some of them connived with civil societies. They have a syndrome of civil society mechanism, syndrome that falls in their blood, that they will never forget activism. Mr. President, some of us stand by you. We have no regrets for standing by you. You have a legacy. You have a better East Africa. You will have a better East Africa. You are Pan-African. But what you wanted is to get a better Kenya so that you can move in the legacy. Leave a legacy that will come out shining. The judgment yesterday on basic structure, we agree. On eliminating the president, I don't agree. Therefore, I have my grounds. I will accept what the court has said, but I disagree. I will take Justice Isaac Lenola and Justice Joki Ndungu rulings. I'm waiting to read for them. Please, the true judges, tell your PAs to send a copies because they might be not available. Send me real hard copies. You have done very well for me. You have done very well. Send me copies. I will make history. There's something that is not right. You can't say Uhuru Kenyatta is we the Kenyans and then he is not a Kenyan. He votes. He takes part in voting. He takes part in sharing the CDF. He uses the road that CDF constructs. Then you say he's not a Kenyan. He should not take part in directing how a Kenyan can propose how we can go. I want to leave a question to ask the judges. How will Wanjiku, Nafula, Sophia from Garissa, Nekesa, ordinary Nekesa, ordinary Otieno, with no shilling in the pocket, how will she or he collect 1 million signatures? I want to ask the judges yesterday. How? If you can answer that to Kenyans, does he go to the bank and break and steal to collect 1 million signatures? Will he use saliva? Will he use water? How? You should have recommended a way. I saw my good friend, Professor Wanjala, using so many words, volcanic, tsunamic. Professor, but you did not recommend it to us how the Wanjiku can organize the 1 million signatures. I challenge you academically. Let's talk. You are my friend and I'm going to look for you. We talk. You destroy me on an argument. Prof, I'm waiting. There are friends of mine there. I want to discuss. Tell me how Wanjiku, how Atieno, Nekesa, Sophie, Otiende will collect 1 million signatures in Kenya without the help of someone. The judgment of the Supreme Court are welcome, but they leave a lot to be desired. Thank you very much, viewers. If there are any questions, anybody can ask from the panel. Those who are watching, otherwise, that's the end of the exclusive show this morning. I've ended it that way. I will pursue the matter for opinion cases. I want an opinion. It's not vindication. It won't erase what, but I want it to go in the history of Africa that I challenged this opinion that the president of a country cannot take part in the same thing that helps the same president and others of the nation. I submit.